I am going to talk about SEO and Google Ads. I'll talk about SEO first and then Google Ads after. But a little bit about myself. My name is Brandon Leibowitz, and I've been involved with digital marketing since 2007. I got my degree in business marketing, and after I graduated from school, the first job I got was helping a company out with their digital marketing, which I didn't really know much about it back then. They didn't really teach you that in school. And the company knew that and said, don't worry, we're new to this as well. And we're going to learn with you, taking you to classes and workshops and seminars, kind of similar to these, where I learned and quickly realized that everyone's probably going to have a website. This was back in 2007, and this digital thing is not going anywhere anytime soon. And I should probably just stick with this digital marketing. And back then, I was helping out with social media, doing email marketing, doing paid ads, doing SEO, and everything works to get traffic. You want to try to get traffic from as many places as possible, but SEO is just a free traffic source. And I thought, who doesn't want free traffic? And that got me really focused on SEO over the years, working at different advertising agencies as a director for SEO. And before work and after work and on my lunch breaks, I'd work on my own company and eventually built that up to where I was able to quit my job and been helping people ever since then, just tap into that free traffic from Google. And for today, for the SEO portion, I want to talk about what is SEO. I'll talk about why it's important. I'll talk about how Google ranks websites, because if you understand what Google is looking for, it makes things much, much easier. Then I'll touch on keyword research, because you got to figure out what keywords do you want to rank for. You don't want to just guess. There's tools that will show you which keywords get the most search volume. And there are a lot of free tools. And then I'll talk about backlinks, because without backlinks, it is not possible to rank on Google. Google's whole algorithm is based off backlinks. And I'll explain what a backlink is, how to build a backlink, and why they are so important. Then we'll touch on tracking, because you really need to track everything. If you're not tracking, you're just kind of blindly going at it. And the data's there, and it's free, and it's going to help you make statistically informed decisions that are going to just improve your overall business, your conversions, your traffic. And so what is SEO? SEO stands for search engine optimization, and that means ranking websites in the different search engines, which it's not websites, it's actually the pages on the website. Every single page is an opportunity to rank for different keywords. The more pages you have, the more keywords you're going to be able to target, because each page can only really target about 3 to 5 words. After that, it kind of loses relevancy. If you want to target more keywords, you need to create more pages. I see people with one-page websites that look nice, but it's not good for SEO. The more pages you have, the better off you're going to be. And you'll see why in a few minutes. And there's lots of search engines out there. Google kind of just dominates. But I don't know, does anyone use a different search engine? If you want to throw in the chat and let me know. But in general, I've been doing marketing since 2007, and I've looked at probably thousands of websites analytics. Google will bring about like 20 to 80% of the traffic. Bing will bring about 1%. Yahoo will bring about 1%. Then maybe like DuckDuckGo might bring 0.5%. Then the rest is going to come from like social media, email marketing, paid ads. But in general, I've never seen a search engine bring in more traffic than Google, but every website is different. So you should check your analytics and see where your traffic is coming from. But everything I talk about today is really geared for Google. And if you optimize for Google, you're going to be good across the board. And I don't see anybody putting in the chat any other search engines. I don't know if anyone does, or if you want to let us know. But in general, this is kind of how it is. Google just dominates. And the way Google works is there's ads at the top. Those are all paid ads. Right below the ads are the organic free listings. There's 10 spots on that first page of Google for websites. But nowadays, it's not just websites that appear. There's images, there's videos, there's maps, there's products. And the best practice is we want to try to optimize for everything and try to take up as much free real estate as possible on that first page of Google without spending money on ads. That's the main goal of SEO. So all your images, we want to optimize those. If you have any videos, we want to optimize those. Videos, it's Google owns YouTube. And the majority of the time, if you see a video in Google search results, it's going to be YouTube. And I'd really make sure you try to get a presence on YouTube sooner than later, because Google owns it and they're just keep pushing it as much as they can. Maps, if you're a local business, get on Google Business Profile to sign up for free and get you on Google Maps. If you're an e-commerce website, if you want your products to show on Google for free, sign up for Google Merchant Center and really just try to capture that free real estate. That way you're getting that traffic. So you can see here is what Google looks like when you search at the top. Those are all paid ads. Google tries to change the way the ads look that way you click on them, because that's really how Google makes a majority of their money, is through people clicking on ads. And every time you click on an ad, it's costing that company, it could be a couple cents per click, it could be a couple dollars per click. I've seen it be $100 for one click. The ads get quite expensive, but as long as you're making more than you're putting in, you don't really need to turn the ads off. It's just in the long run, you don't want to always be spending money on every single click. So in the long run, SEO is going to be a better strategy. In the short run, Google Ads works really well, but the benefits of SEO are really that it increases visibility and brand awareness. It boosts trust and credibility because people are searching on Google. And if Google ranks you, that's like Google voting or vouching for you, saying, we trust you. And if Google trusts you, then people trust Google and they're going to trust your website. And that's going to get you more targeted traffic. That's going to lead to more conversions, more sales, more leads, more phone calls, and everything is trackable, which we'll talk about in a little bit, how to track with analytics. But it's going to be more cost effective in the long run versus Google Ads. You have to invest time. Time is money, or you pay someone like myself to do your SEO. But in the long run, it's going to be much cheaper than having to pay for every single click. But the way search engines work is search engines have what are called spiders. And these spiders go around the internet line by line, reading the code, trying to figure out what this page is about. And then they determine how relevant you are to that search. They throw in their algorithm, which is kept top secret. Nobody knows how it works. If you did know how it works, tomorrow it changes and the next day it changes. So, I mean, it'd be great if we could figure out how Google works. We'd all be trillionaires and could retire on a private island. But unfortunately, Google's changing it all the time. So what we want to do is figure out how much SEO have our competitors have done. That's really what matters, is who are our competitors and how much SEO have they done. But the way Google works is we know things that they want to see. So basically we know some little coding changes that they want to see to help you better become more relevant to the search. And it's a lot easier if I show you versus just telling you how the search engines work, because it is a little confusing. So if anybody does have a website, if you want to throw in the chat, I'll show you what we see versus what Google sees. Because if you understand what Google sees, it makes a lot more sense what they're doing when they're ranking websites. Let me see if I could switch over. And I see a couple questions. Someone was asking, is Google Merchant different than Google Business Profile? And Google Merchant Center is for e-commerce websites, and Google Business Profile is for local businesses. So if you're a local business and you're e-commerce, sign up for both. But if you're just a local business, then you only want to be on Google Business Profile. And see, Pamela is saying YouTube is the second most used search engine. Yep, Google's the most popular website. Facebook and YouTube, I think, switch off every day from number 2 and number 3 of the most popular websites. But I see Tay put in here Sport Collection Jewelry as a website. Hopefully everyone can see my screen. And this is what Tay's website looks like. As you can see, there's images here. There's a lot going on. It looks very nice, clean, but if we right click and view page source, we'll see what the search engine see, which is just coding. And don't worry, you don't need to know coding. I know a little bit of coding because I've been doing SEO since 2007 when there wasn't WordPress or Shopify or Wix, but basically the search engines only see text and they're just looking through all this text. There's no images, there's no videos, it's only code. And they're just trying to read this, trying to figure out what this page is about. See, this is a very long page, it's like 4,000 lines of text, but what Google's doing is looking line by line, reading this and looking for words in your language. So they see this sports, and then they try to figure out, all right, what does this mean? Sports, collection, jewelry. All right, what type of sports is this? Football, basketball, snowboarding, like what type of sports? Collection, all right, is it collectibles, collectible items? Jewelry, all right, what is this jewelry? Is it men's, women's, earrings, bracelets, diamonds, like what is it? Gold. So the more text you put on your website, the easier it will be for the search engines to read, understand, and really know what that page is about. So usually you need to put a couple hundred words of text on every single page. The more text, the better. And it doesn't have to be just one big block of text. Here's text, but here's more text. And just break it up. But the more text you put, the easier it is for search engines to read, understand, and know what that page is about on every single page. And I know a lot of people don't want to put text on their website because it's going to make it look ugly, but you have to make Google happy and you have to make people happy. So I'd make the top of the page like this look really clean for people, make it really short, concise. You don't want to have a big block of text, but lower down, like at the very bottom of your page, just throw that text there, because most people think about how often do you scroll to the very bottom of the page. Most people are not scrolling to the bottom, but Google reads from top to bottom. So Google will see that text and better understand that page. Just don't hide it. Don't put in like font size 0.01. And then if you have a white background, you use white font. That's tricking Google. Google's seen all the tricks over the years, and they are happy to penalize the website. We don't want to trick them. So just be aware, content is one of the most important things. If you don't do anything else I talk about, but add more text to every single page on your website, I can almost guarantee everyone will see more traffic from Google. Google's whole algorithm, Google loves content, and text is what they feed off. They're getting better at reading images and videos, but they're not there yet. So they still rely heavily on text to help them understand what that page is about. But before you add that text, you might wonder, what keyword should I use? And there's tools that will show you how many people search for a keyword every single month. That way you're not just guessing. But before that, we want to make a list of keywords, and then we're going to throw them into these tools. And there's a lot, well, basically we want to open up like Notepad or Microsoft Word or Google Docs or just a piece of paper and just start writing down as many keywords as possible that you think you want to rank for. Try to think of like, take a step back. If you were looking for your product or service, what would you search? If you have clients that you talked to in the past that have questions that commonly come up, write those down and just try to make as many questions as possible, or as many keywords as possible. And then what we want to do is search Google, because Google's going to show us a ton of information. It's going to show us what keywords our competitors are using. It's going to also give us highly search volume or high search volume keywords that are related to our keyword, from instant search and autocomplete and searches related to. So Google just tells us so much information. And again, it's a lot easier if I show you this stuff versus just telling you. If anyone has a keyword that you want me to show you, I would do some keyword research. If you want to throw in the chat, I'll show you quickly how we just go onto Google and could just use Google to give us some insights. So I see Melissa was quick and put death doula. So if death doula is your keyword, then if you search on Google and add a space, you'll see this drop down appears. These are all high search volume keywords. I'm in Los Angeles, so it might be a little bit different for wherever you're located. Google's going to try to personalize it a little bit. But in general, you can see all these keywords drop down, and maybe you don't want to do, maybe you're not trying to do salary, like death doula salary, but you can write a blog post about that, because these are all high search volume phrases that people search. And you can write about the salary and try to lead them into your website, and then try to get them to learn more about your product or service. Doesn't always work. So if the keyword doesn't make sense, skip it over. Like maybe death doula, death meaning is a keyword that you wouldn't think is a good keyword, but people are searching for that. And then they're learn more about your services. You might want to write a blog post about that and try to rank for that keyword. And also at the very bottom of Google, it's people also search for. These are all high search volume phrases. Same thing. Some might be good. If they're great, use it. If not, skip it over. But the nice thing about Google is if we go to the top and we skip over the ads, we could see this blue clickable link. This is called the SEO title tag. And this is where everyone is putting their keywords. So we could quickly see what other people are using for their keywords. So we could see, like for this first one, what is an end-of-life doula? So this one, what an end-of-life doula can do for you. So you can see everyone's putting, or majority put end-of-life doula. So end-of-life might be a better keyword than just life doula or death doula. But this is where we gotta do the keyword research and make note of all these keywords. Even singular and plural are gonna have different searches, like doula and doulas. Like this one is a plural version. It's gonna have a different amount of searches. And these tools, once we use the tools, are gonna show us how many people search for each variation. That we can find the high search volume variation of that keyword and use that in your content on your website. So once you made a big list of keywords, then we want to use tools to put them in that tool to see how many people actually search for that keyword every single month. And there are free and there are paid tools. There's a free tool, it's from Google. It is called the Google Keyword Planner. It is from Google and it is free. So I would really recommend using this tool. If you work at a company that wants to buy a tool, they could pay for a tool. The more popular ones would be like Ahrefs or Moz or SEMrush. They're like $100 a month. So if you want to pay for it, great, but you don't really need to, because Google Keyword Planner is great and it's going to show you how much traffic each keyword gets. Then you can sort by traffic and try to find the high search volume keywords that have low competition. So the Google Keyword Planner, though, if you just go to Google and just type in Keyword Planner, and you'll see right here is Google Keyword Planner. You have to log in to Google Ads. So Google wants you to create an ad or an account with Google Ads to be able to use this tool. You don't need to run any ads, but this tool is not really for SEO. It's more for Google Ads, but it works for SEO. So here it says discover new keywords. And I saw Jennifer put a keyword in earlier. That was parenting classes. But here is an example of the keyword planner. And this is me. I do SEO classes. And I was looking and I saw, well, I do SEO training. And I thought SEO training is a good keyword. But then I saw that SEO classes gets almost double the amount of searches. So SEO training is good, but SEO classes is going to get me more traffic. And this is where, doing keyword research comes into play. Is usually you're not going to know until you use tools to figure it out. Like one of my clients, they're a personal injury law firm, and they want to rank for personal injury lawyer. And we did keyword research. Personal injury lawyer, plural, gets 20,000 searches a month, but personal injury lawyers, singular, gets 200,000 searches every single month. So when we were doing the keyword research, we realized that the singular version, just by removing one letter, is going to get almost 10 times more traffic. So it's really important not to just guess at these keywords, but to use tools like this, the Google Keyword Planner, or one of those paid tools, because we can see right here, parenting classes was a keyword that Jennifer put in earlier. And you can see parenting classes, it says average monthly searches. And there's a lot in here. The only thing we really care about is average monthly searches. We can see 12,100 people search for this keyword every single month. Competition, medium, all this other stuff is for Google Ads. It's not for SEO, so skip it over until we get to the Google Ads portion. Then this is going to show you like how much it's going to cost to get to the bottom of page one. So if you want to be on page one, it's going to cost $1.05 per click. If you want to get to the top of page one, it's going to cost $4.01 for one click. So this is why the ads, it's not too expensive. I've seen them be $100, $200. Sometimes it gets quite expensive, but as long as you're making more than you're putting in, there's no need to turn them off. But here is the one thing I would change is where it says United States. And if you're local, like if you're doing parenting classes, you might say, all right, I only want to target like Los Angeles. And from there, it'll change the numbers drastically to 390 people search for this keyword every single month. And you can see there's a lot of other keywords down here. Some don't have that many search volume. Like 10 is pretty low, but if these 10 people are going to be really good clients, I would say still go for it. So I would just take everything with a grain of salt, because sometimes I see numbers that are low and I'm like, I search for that keyword at least 10 times per month for this for my client. So I'm sure there's more search volume. So just take everything with a grain of salt. Sometimes the numbers seem a little off, but this is from Google, and this is going to be the best tool to use to do keyword research. But again, there's a lot of other tools out there, but basically they're all taking their data from Google and just making it look prettier. That's what a lot of these paid tools are just doing. So it's up to you if you want to pay for a tool, but it's not really necessary. So once you figure out the keywords, then you want to put them on your website and the coding in different places, which is a little tough because everyone has a different website. And it'll be tough for me to show you how to put on WordPress or Shopify or Wix or Squarespace. But one place that really matters is just adding more text everywhere on your website. And that's where you sprinkle those keywords in that text. So every page, you need to add more text to your website. And once you figure out what keywords you want to rank for, then you can start sprinkling those keywords in throughout that content and even creating pages centered around that content. Because if you create a page like this one, if I create a page all about SEO classes, someone searches for that, I become really relevant. I teach Google Ads classes, but someone searching for SEO classes doesn't necessarily care about the Google Ads and vice versa. So mixing them together, it's not really the best. It's better to have independent pages for each service, each product that you're offering. Then you become much more relevant. But none of this stuff matters to Google because Google just doesn't trust anybody because they don't believe anything anybody puts on a website. And you have to build trust up. And the way you build trust is by getting other websites to talk about you. So the more websites that talk about you, the more popular Google sees you as, and the higher they're going to rank you in the search results. Basically, you need to get what are called backlinks. And what is a backlink? A backlink is a clickable link from another website that points to yours. Let's say, for example, we're reading an article on Forbes.com right here. And in there, it says Ivar's Seafood Chain. If you click on that and it goes to ivarsseafoodchain.com, then Ivar's Seafood Chain is getting a backlink from Forbes.com. The more websites that have clickable links that point to your website, the more popular, the more trustworthy Google thinks you are, and the higher they're going to rank you. And that's how Google's whole algorithm started back in the 90s. Is they said, we're not just looking at keywords because anybody could put keywords on a website. I could build a website and say brandonsdentist.com, and Google's like, are you really a dentist? Because we don't want to just send people to your dental office and find out you don't exist. It's a bad user experience, and people are going to probably be like, why am I using Google? They're giving me the wrong information. So Google really wants to make sure that you are really relevant and that you're legitimate, trustworthy, and that's where these backlinks come into play. If I'm a dentist, then I need to get other websites related to health and wellness linking out to me. That's going to get Google to trust me more. So in the past, it was a numbers game. If I have 100 backlinks and you have 200 backlinks, you would rank higher than me. That's how it used to be, but Google changes their algorithm all the time. And nowadays it's quality over quantity. And what is a quality backlink? Quality backlink means it just comes from a site that's related to what you're doing. That's number one, is you need to find niche related websites. I do SEO. I'd love to get other SEO companies to link out to me. It's probably not going to happen because we're all competitors, but I can find websites about marketing, about advertising, about entrepreneurship, about anything somewhat related to what I'm doing. That's what Google wants to see. The more related, the better. But as long as it's somewhat related, that's good enough. If I got a backlink from like that dentist to my website, that might look a little strange. Like, why is this dentist linking out to an SEO company? But maybe I did their SEO and they're giving me a backlink saying like, thank you, Brandon, you did such a great job. But so it's okay to get one or two, but if the majority of your backlinks came for dentists, then Google's going to think you're a dentist. So that's where you just have to really find good quality sites, and the more related, the better. And the best way to get on niche related websites is actually by blogging on other people's websites. Blogging on your website is great, but it's actually a lot more beneficial to take the blogs that we would normally post on your website and give them to other people. And you might be wondering, like, how do I find these blogs? And there's lots of ways to find websites or blogs, but I like to do what are called advanced search operators. So it sounds more complicated than it really is, but basically I just go into Google and I type in URL right for us, or URL : right for us in quotation marks. And I see Stu put in as a keyword Blue Mountain Coffee. So if I'm trying to rank for like Blue Mountain Coffee, I can just put the word coffee in here. And this is going to show me websites that are related to coffee that will let me write for them potentially. So now I could reach out to these websites and try to become a contributor. So I'll open up a couple real quick just to show you. So this one says freshcup.com, right for Fresh Cup. Fresh Cup is a storytelling and education hub for the coffee and tea industries. We equip coffee and tea professionals with the skills, insights, and inspiration required to develop a more sustainable and prosperous industry for all. We invite writers, thinkers, blah, blah. They actually say they'll pay you $250. Usually it's the opposite. Usually you might have to pay to get on these websites, but this one might actually pay you. So I don't know if they would still pay you. If they will, great. But usually I just want to get this backlink. So basically I'm just going to write for them. I'm not going to really read any of this stuff because unfortunately most of these websites are not going to get back to me. So I don't want to email them an article. I just want to pitch myself. So what I want to do is find an email address or a contact form or just something where I could reach out to them. And I just have like a template like, hi, my name is Brandon. I was reading your blog and I've been involved with coffee for the past 13 years and want to see if I could write for you. Here's a couple of articles I've written in the past. So you can link out to some old blogs that we wrote so they could see your writing style. And then just keep it short. Be like, thanks, have a great day. Keep it short, sweet. Don't send them the article because you don't want to spend all this time writing it and then find out that they don't use it, because unfortunately, most of these websites are not going to get back to you. And you don't want to spend all the time writing something and then find out they never used it or whatever happened, it just disappeared. Because each website you have to write a unique article for. You can't just use the same article over and over again, unfortunately. Every website you need to write a unique piece of content. So that's where you don't want to just write and then just have it kind of disappear. So here's another one. Sweatpantsandcoffee.com. And this one is saying, would you like to write for Sweatpants and Coffee? Please carefully review our submission guidelines here. You may send in your submission to so here's their email address and here's a form. I'd fill out both because I've worked with clients before that said nobody's contacting me on my website, and then I go to their contact form and fill it out and it doesn't work. Or I've had people that come to me and say like, no one's emailing me, and we look at their website and their email address is old and they're not getting those emails. Or even e-commerce websites I've had that nobody's buying off their website, and it's because their shopping cart doesn't work. So I would try to reach out, which seems kind of weird, but you have to test everything. And I really recommend everyone test, test, test. Always test your website, try to break it, try to find loopholes and things that are causing issues. But basically, I want to try to reach out to people in as many ways as possible, because I never know if the email is going to work or the form is not going to work. So I'd rather reach out both ways and double my chances of having somebody find me. And I'll put in the chat to this. It's in URL, and then you change coffee to whatever. So I could change coffee to, like, if I'm a dentist, I could put dentist, and it's going to find websites about dentistry. So you just change that keyword or change that last word to whatever it is. And I'll put in the chat for everyone that in URL colon and then in quotation marks, right for us. And then you put your keyword. And that's going to let you find these blogs that you could potentially write for and get editorial status, get that backlink, establish yourself as a subject matter expert. So there's a lot of benefits that come out of it. And maybe even get paid. Like that one website said they'll pay you $250, which is not bad. You just have to write one content piece to get paid $250 is pretty nice. So relevancy is really important. And then authoritativeness. How big, how popular is this website? The bigger the website is, the more trust it's going to give to you. So like, let's say, for example, I give you a backlink from my website. It's a good website, but it's not the same as a Forbes or Wall Street Journal or New York Times or LA Times. Or the bigger the website, the more SEO value that's going to be passed on. So relevancy and authority are the two things that you really need to look at when you're building backlinks. And remember, if you don't build backlinks, it's not possible to rank on Google. You have to build backlinks. Most websites need around 100 backlinks. There's lots of different ways to build backlinks. These are just some strategies, but you could join like your chamber of commerce in your city. Usually they'll list you on their website. And the chamber of commerce is great for networking as well, which I recommend for almost every business owner. You have to pay for it. And unfortunately, most backlinks you'll see you have to kind of pay for them because you have to invest time, write content. Most websites are not just going to give you a free backlink, but you got to think outside the box and try to get on as many websites as possible. And then analytics from Google is a free tool that will let you track everything to see where your traffic's coming from, what pages they visit, how long they stay on your website, what country, what city, what state, what language. It shows you, it's like data overload. It's like too much information, but the more data you have, the better your offer going to be, because now you can make statistically informed decisions about what's working and what's not working. Like, let's say, for example, you're an e-commerce website and you're getting a lot of traffic to one product, but nobody's buying it. You could look in Google Analytics and see, all right, I'm getting a lot of traffic to this product, but then what's going on? And Google Analytics is going to show you more than just what happens once people get to your website. It's going to show you how long they stay on that page, and it'll show what's called a bounce rate, meaning how many people came to this website and left immediately. And you might see that 90% of the people that come to this page will leave immediately. Then you're like wondering, all right, why are so many people leaving? Maybe it loads slowly, maybe the pictures don't look good, maybe the price is too high. But without Google Analytics, you're not going to really know this. So using tools like Google Analytics, which is free, and it's much more in depth than Shopify or WordPress Analytics, I would really recommend Google Analytics. You have to sign up, create an account at Google Analytics. They're going to give you a little tracking code. You have to put that tracking code on your website. If you don't know how to put that tracking code, just go into Google and search how to install Google Analytics for, and then you fill in the blank. If you're on Shopify, how to install Google Analytics for Shopify. And it shouldn't take more than 1 hour. And once it's done, you don't have to do it ever again. And it's only going to start tracking from that day on. So if you wait till next month to start tracking, you're not going to get any of this past month's data. And data is invaluable. Even if you're only getting like 1 or 2 people to your website a day, that's still data that over time you're going to be able to help use to make statistically informed decisions about your business. So this is what Google Analytics looks like. Again, it's kind of like a lot going on, but just click on everything. You're not going to break anything. And the more you click, the more you play with it, the more you're going to learn about your traffic. And that is all for SEO. And then I see a question, do you have to pay for Google Analytics? And no, it's free. I wouldn't pay for analytics. It's a free tool. And it is going to really be beneficial just in general, not only for SEO, but just in general, but especially for what we're going to talk about right now, which is Google Ads. So for Google Ads, though, I want to go over kind of basics, like what are Google Ads? I'll start off the different ad types that Google has. And I'll talk about remarketing, which are those ads that if you've ever looked at a product on Amazon and you see those ads that follow you around everywhere, that's remarketing. That's people stalking you, trying to get you to buy that product or service because you looked at it and you're that close to buying, but something distracted you. And remarketing ads are the type of ads I recommend for everybody. They're really good and they are really cheap. And I'll explain more later. And then tracking as well is very, very important to track with Google Ads because you're paying every single time someone clicks on your website, and you got to make sure that you're not wasting money on clicks that are not converting. So Google Ads, the benefits of Google Ads are really, it has a wide reach and you can really hyper target. I mean, you can get very, very specific with the targeting. Social media ads are great, but Google Ads give you a little bit more targeting where you target by like income level, you could target competitors' traffic, you could do a lot more, and it all provides measurable results. So you can track everything through Google Analytics, and Google Ads also lets you track everything. And it is cost effective if done properly. If you're just letting ads run, which a lot of people just set an ad and forget it, that's how you lose money. But if you're going in and optimizing those campaigns and pausing keywords that are not converting or stopping demographics that are not working, like maybe females 30 to 35 are clicking, but they're not converting, cut them out. Males 40 to 45 might be clicking and converting, push more money to that. So if you're just setting your ad up and not optimizing it, it's not going to be effective. But if you optimize, then you're going to get those good results and it's immediate. You start running paid ads, you're going to start getting traffic pretty much immediately. Whereas with SEO, it's a long-term play. You have to really invest that time, and because of the backlinks. The backlinks are what ranks a website. And to Google, the backlinks build trust, and you can't just build 100 backlinks all at once. You get a normal website would get like a couple backlinks every single month. So Google wants to see you slowly getting a couple backlinks month over month over month over month, and then Google starts to trust you little by little. But there's no real shortcut with SEO. The Google ads are that way to get immediate traction, and it is very flexible. There's a lot you can do with these ads, and here's what the ads look like. So when you search on Google, ads are going to be at the top. Right below the ads are the organic, the free listings. And Google Ads, you just go to ads.google.com, sign up, create an account, and it is going to give you access to Google Ads, which is a pay-per-click advertising platform where you're paying for each click that goes to your website. So if someone searches on Google, they click on your website, you're paying Google the price depending on how competitive that keyword is. So the way the pricing works is, let's say we're all selling the same thing. We're all selling tennis shoes and we all want to rank for that keyword tennis shoes. You might say, I'll pay $1. I might say, I'll pay $1.01. You might say, I'll pay $1.02. And over the years, over the decades, it's gone bid up. The more competitive the keyword is, the more expensive it's going to cost for each click. That's how Google prices these keywords, is basically depending on your competition, how much they're willing to pay. And it's intent-based advertising. People are searching. They have that buyer intent, which is the nice thing about Google is people are actively searching. Social media is good, but people aren't actively searching on social media. They're just browsing around and you're interrupting them, hoping they're interested in your product or service, which they might be in the future, or they might have in the past, but it doesn't necessarily mean at that moment they want it. Whereas Google, they're actively typing it in, they're actively looking. So social media, the ads are a little bit cheaper because you're getting a little bit lower quality traffic. Google ads are a little bit more expensive because of that intent, but it's all about testing. You never know what's going to work until you try it out. So don't just not run Facebook ads because I told you they're not going to be as good, but test. You have to test everything. Every business is different and you never know what's going to work until you try it out. And this is what Google Ads looks like. And there's a lot in there. I would be a little bit more cautious with clicking on everything because with Google Ads, you're going to be spending money. Whereas with the Google Analytics, which was what I was talking about earlier, to track your data, that's where you want to just play around with it to learn as much as you can about your data. But in Google Ads, you got to be careful because everything you do is going to potentially cost money. And when you go into Google Ads, so the first thing they ask you is what type of ad do you want to run? Because a lot of people think Google Ads are just those search ads, which that's what Google started off with, is when you search on Google, there's ads at the top. Those are the search ads. Those are the pay-per-click ads. But Google has a lot of other ads, and some are going to be much cheaper than others. And could also be a little bit more effective. So search ads, great, but they're going to be expensive. So if you want to do them, go for them. But if you have a limited budget, I would say trying some of these other ads are going to get your dollar to go much further, like display ads, which are banner ads. If you've ever seen on a website banners, 99% of the time, it's going to be coming from Google because Google's partnered with almost every website on the internet. So if you see a banner ad, it doesn't matter if it's on CNN or Fox or Forbes or New York Times or LA Times or any website that has banner ads, you can get your ads to show. And you can specify saying, I do want to be on these sites or I don't want to be on these types of websites. So it doesn't matter what type of website, but Google's pretty much partnered with any website with banners. And these ads are much cheaper. They're because you have to create a banner ad. So it's a little bit more of a barrier to entry. Whereas with the search ads, you just create an ad for your website. Banner ads, you have to create a banner, then you have to do your targeting. So it's a little bit cheaper. And these are more for like upper funnel. People don't really click on the banners, but they see it. So it's great for remarketing, which I'll talk about in a little bit, when you follow people around and they see your banner ads everywhere. But in general, these aren't really going to get you sales or conversions. They're just for people to kind of see your like, just see you. People try to skip over the ads. People are kind of like immune to ads where they see an ad and they kind of skip it. But over time, they see it over time or enough times, it just gets that reinforcement and enough touch points is going to get someone to trust you more. Demand gen are going to get you on these discovery platforms. So Google has this discovery where it's like YouTube will sometimes after a video say, hey, and by the way, we think this is another great video for you to watch. It'll get you in Gmail. It'll get you in a bunch of things like that. So demand gen, it's a weird one, but it actually seems to convert pretty well for myself and my clients. So I would check that one out. Google owns YouTube. So a nice thing about YouTube is it puts a face behind the company. And YouTube gives you 30 seconds ad space for free. So if somebody watches your video ad for 29 seconds and then skips it, you don't pay a penny. After 30 seconds, it's like 10 cents a view. It's very cheap because of the barrier to entry. How many people want to make a video? People don't want to make a video. And once I made a video for myself, it was so much easier. People think it's so tough to do, but just take your cell phone and record yourself and the authenticity is there. You don't have to make it all professional. Just take a video and it puts a face behind the company. And because I realized over the years, people don't really buy off SEO optimizers. They buy off Brandon Leibowitz. SEO is optimizers is my company name, but people want to buy off me. So once I put a face behind the company and started putting myself out there, it really helped out. And with YouTube, you get 30 seconds free ad space. And you can even take it one step further is you could target your competitors' traffic with YouTube. So anyone that, let's say, goes to Yelp looking for an SEO company, I can tell Google, take that traffic, and then anytime they open up YouTube, show them my video ad. And if they skip that ad after 20 seconds, they essentially heard me talking for 20 seconds for free. So I'm tapping into my competitor's traffic without them ever knowing, because Yelp is never going to know. I'm not bidding on the keyword Yelp. I'm just targeting Yelp's traffic, but you can't really do that with social media. That's the one thing I really like about Google is you can only do that on YouTube and banner ads. You can't do that for everything else, but that does really work pretty well. And then there's shopping ads. So if you're an e-commerce website, you definitely want to run product shopping ads because you don't want to just run search ads. You'd rather do the shopping ads because the shopping ads show you product picture. They show the price. So nobody's going to click on your shopping ad, go to your website, and then realize the price is too high because the price is right there. It'll show reviews, and these are really cheap as well. So if you're an e-commerce website, you need to sign up for Google Merchant Center, and that will get your products shown in Google shopping ads. Then there's Performance Max, which is pretty much everything put in one. This is the newer one that Google's been pushing, and that will do search, it'll do display, it'll do demand gen, it'll do YouTube, it'll do shopping all in one. So this one seems to work pretty well as well. You get a little bit less control with it, but it uses more of like the machine learning, the AI to try to figure out what's going to be best for you. But check it out. App is if you have an application, an app, then you want to run app ads. Smart ads are actually the worst ads, and smart ads seem great, but they're actually counterintuitive. And if you ever start running ads on Google, an app or a Google rep is going to probably call you and try to help you set up ads, and they're probably going to try to set you up with these smart ads. And smart ads are actually the worst type of ads because you don't get any control with the targeting. They're really easy to set up. That's why Google recommends them, but there's no real control. And just avoid smart ads. They sound great, but they're actually not as good as you think they are. And this is what it looks like. I mean, so these are like the different ones. So YouTube would be shown on YouTube. Display would be those banner ads. Search is on google.com, just on the search engine. Discover would be like a video. After YouTube video plays, it would recommend it. Then there's Gmail and there's Maps as well. So there's a lot of places that you can advertise your business through Google. And this is what it looks like when you log into Google Ads. It'll say select a campaign type. So search is getting in front of high intent customers at the right time on Google search. Performance Max is reach audiences across all of Google with a single campaign. So like I was saying, it's a all-in-one, does everything in one click or one campaign. Display is reach customers across 3 million websites and apps with great engaging creative. So these are the banner ads that you see everywhere. Google's partnered with over 3 million websites and really big websites, not small ones, but big publishers. Shopping ads are showcasing your products to shoppers as they explore what to buy. Really great for e-commerce websites. I really recommend shopping ads. Video is getting on YouTube. App is driving downloads and growing engagement on your app. Smart, again, not the smartest, but reach customers with a one-stop solution built for small businesses, but it's really very limiting. So avoid that smart one. And then demand gen is running on ads on YouTube, Gmail, Discover, and other platforms. And you never know what's going to work until you test. So search is going to be the most expensive, but then play around with all these other ones and test them all out and see what works. You never know until you test. It's kind of throwing everything against the wall, seeing what works, push more money into that, and pull money away from what's not working. That way, initially you spend more money, but in the long run, you could spend less by cutting out the ones that are not converting. But remarketing is the one I really recommend for everybody is follow people around. This is people that have been to your website, but didn't do something that you want them to do, whether it's like for e-commerce, if someone goes to your website, but adds a product to the shopping cart, but doesn't check out, they were that close to buying. Follow them around with banner ads. Keep yourself top of mind, showing them that product. Because these are all warm leads, and you create these custom audiences, and these really get the highest conversion rate. This is going to be the cheapest type of ad to run, and it's going to have the best effect. So basically, someone visits your website. So there's a visitor. They go to your website. The visitor leaves your website, and then they see your ad on other websites, and that gets them to come back to your website. Because maybe somebody was on their cell phone, and they were going to call you or purchase your product, and then somebody called them and they got distracted and they forgot about you. And then they see your banner ad later on, keeps you top of mind, and then that gets them to hopefully want to continue on that purchase journey. And it doesn't matter if you're selling product or service. I do it for my business. I do SEO, and if you go to my website, I offer free classes. So if you come to my website and don't take one of my free classes, I'm going to follow you around with banner ads saying, take one of my free classes. If you have taken one of my classes, I also offer free consultations. If you haven't booked a call with me, I'm going to follow you around saying like, book a call with Brandon today and follow you around with these banner ads. And then if you have booked a call with me, but you haven't signed up to be a client, I'll follow you around with reviews and testimonials. So I make all these different audiences. And that's where I segment my audience into different groups and target them with different ads, because people just came to my homepage are a little different than someone that's gone to my contact us page or looked at my reviews and testimonials. So you have to segment your audience and create custom audiences, and that's going to really maximize the value of these people because unfortunately half the people that come to your website are going to leave immediately. It's called the bounce rate. And just in general, on any website, half the people that come leave. And this is where you can keep yourself top of mind, have multiple touch points, especially for stuff that's more expensive. If you're just selling like a pair of socks, you don't really need to do these ads. But if you're a lawyer, you might need a couple touch points for someone to want to trust you. And this helps you get those touch points across the web. And then you want to track everything through Google Ads will let you track, and Google Analytics. Both are two different tools to let you track. I'd use both of them to track the data and really track conversions. Don't just track traffic, but track how many people called you or emailed you or filled out a form or made that purchase or whatever that conversion goal is. But track conversions and optimize your campaigns against the conversion data there. So Google Analytics, Google Ads, both great tools. They're going to show different numbers for some reason. They never seem to line up perfectly. So, and I've spoken with Google reps about this for hours and hours on end, and I'm not sure why. It's just the way they track. It's a little differently, so they're not going to be perfect. That's why I recommend using both to get the data, because Google Analytics will show a little bit different than Google Ads. And the more insights you get, the better off you're going to be. And that is gone. So if you want to track out conversions, you have to go to tools and settings and click on measurement and conversions. And you can also see right here, it shows under planning on the left-hand side, keyword planner. That was that Google keyword planner that we looked at earlier to do keyword research. It's under shared library, it says audience manager. This is where you can create that audience, the custom audiences for remarketing ads. And then there's one other thing I didn't even mention is negative keywords. So it says negative keyword list here. And actually negative keywords are more important than keywords. Negative keywords say, I don't want to show up for this keyword. So you might be selling, like for myself, I do, or let's say like an e-commerce website selling dog food. You don't want to show up for the word like free dog food or used or cheap. So those are keywords that you want to put to say, Google, don't show me for these keywords. And negative keywords are actually, I'd say, a little bit more important than regular keywords because these are going to stop the bleeding on wasted clicks. So you have to be aware that you want to put keywords, but also you want to put negative keywords. So you're not getting people just looking for like used products when you sell new products or cheap products when you're a high ticket item. And that is all I have for today. So for everyone that made it to the end, I have a gift for you. If you go to my website at seooptimizers.com/gift, you can find my contact information there and a bunch of classes I've done over the years. I've thrown it for free, so you can see step by step how to do a lot of stuff that we talked about. And also, if you want a free website analysis, I'm happy to check out your website from an SEO point of view, and you can book some time on my calendar there for free as well. And I'm pretty sure I missed some questions. So if I did miss anyone's questions from the chat, if you want to throw in the Q&A or put it back, because there's a lot of chat activity. I do see Melissa was asking, do you change if your business is a service versus product? Are these better for one or other? I guess I already answered that, she said. But Elaine said, how often would you recommend reviewing your Google ads to make adjustments? And pretty much all the time, because you're spending money for every single click. So if you're spending $100 every single day, you want to make sure that that $100 is not being wasted on clicks from people that are just putting the wrong keywords. Because the way Google works is if you're just putting keywords on Google, they're going to show you for variations of that word. And sometimes it's not the most relatable. So that's where you need to put those negative keywords in there. That way you're going in pretty much on a daily basis and saying, hey, stop showing me on these keywords that are not converting. So the more money you're putting in there, the more I'd go in, frequently I'd go in there. If you're only spending $5 a day, then I would say maybe you might need a week's worth of data to really have some data that's statistically accurate, because $5 might not get you far enough to really get enough data. So I would really try to make sure you get like at least like 100 or so visitors to your website. Then you can say, all right, this is a little more statistically accurate versus if you're only spending $5 or $10 a day, that might only get you one click to your website. And that's not enough to say, all right, this one person that made that purchase was a male from 30 to 35 years old, but is that going to repeat again? And you can also look at the time of the day, like Monday through Friday or Saturday and Sunday, the times that people are converting. Are they converting at 11 a.m., 12 a.m., midnight, middle of the day? All this is going to change. And this is where you might want to exclude a lot of stuff. So try to exclude whatever you think is not going to convert. That way you're not wasting money on those clicks. See, another question is, which Google ad is similar to Facebook ad where you paid 5 to 10 a day? And you can do $5 to $10 a day on any of these ads. They're all similar, but they're all different. Like Facebook lets you do video ads. So if you want to do a video ad, then I would do a YouTube ad because that's going to be similar to Facebook ads. But Facebook ads are more like banner ads. So I would say Facebook ads would be more like display ads where it's more banners because it's visual content. So if you want to do banner ads, that would be Google display, Google banners. And that's where you could say for like $10 a day, show me to 1,000 people. But not a lot of people click those banner ads because a lot of people skip over them knowing they're banner ads. And people are just kind of immune to ads nowadays. They just look them over and skip them. But people will eventually see them over time. Like think about how often, like if you're on Facebook on desktop version, there's ads all the way on the right-hand corner. Most people never see those ads, but those still count for an impression. Michelle was saying, please share your thoughts about organic sales. What is the best way to do that? And organic sales would be coming through SEO or even social media. It could be organic, email marketing, paid ads wouldn't be organic. So anything besides paid ads would be organic, word of mouth, referrals, all that is going to help get you more organic traffic. But SEO is just a great way to get on Google's organic traffic because it's a search engine, but it doesn't matter if it's Google or Yelp or any search engine, we can optimize for all those. I think I see.
Quick question to you. How many negative keywords do you have in, say, your SEO website compared to positive keywords?
Yeah, I have more negative keywords than positive keywords, actually. So I have because if you're a dentist and you're doing like root canals, there's only so many ways that people search for root canal, like root canal or toothache or tooth pain. But then after that, you don't want to show up for like, if you're a root or dentist in Los Angeles, you might get people searching for you in Sacramento. And you're like, hold on, why are you showing me all these other cities? And Google will do that. It'll show you other cities, states. So you have to make a list of all that. Or so you have to really, there's a, in Google Ads will show you search terms, and that's a report you can pull, and that will show you what keywords people actually search for. So instead of just looking at the keywords you're targeting, now you can see what people actually search for, which is probably going to be like, oh wow, these are way off, or they might be on point and it's great, but usually they're going to be pretty off. And that's where you got to be like, all right, stop showing me for all these weird ones. I don't want to show for my competitors or comparison or for Facebook and stuff like that. And then I see a question that Jennifer put. It was, does going all in on a platform like Kajabi or Squarespace not recommended for SEO? What's the downside of going on one of these platforms? And when you build a website, you have to pick a platform, whether it's WordPress or Shopify or Wix or Squarespace. So you have to pick one. But doesn't matter which one you pick. Just I like WordPress. It's free. It's great. It's easy to use. It's very SEO friendly. But it's up to you which platform you're on. I see one new question. Can you recommend a tool to check SEO for the competitors' keywords? And that'd be like the ones I talked about for keyword research, the Ahrefs, the Moz, and the SEMrush are the keywords I would, or tools I would use for that. They're all paid, unfortunately. They're not free.